A kid I grew up with here in Kent, actually, Tim Dix, he worked for ESPN Sports Science, and he was doing an investigative piece on this whole juice baseball idea. It comes from the PED era back in the 2000s, where the players were juicing themselves or going on steroids. So in this situation, people don't believe that the players are juicing, but they believe that maybe the ball is quote-unquote on steroids, based on these huge home runs totals that have been happening the last 3-4 years. He first contacted USC Medical School. Dr. Law is a specialist with CT scans out there, and he was able to take full baseballs and see the density of the different components of the new baseballs versus the old baseballs. And that really narrowed down that there was this distinct difference in the pill, this rubber/cork center of the baseballs. And then that's where he contacted me, knowing that I'm a graduate student doing science work, and we were able to collaborate on this project.
Although you're using baseball as the subject or as the material, but it's still made of chemicals. If you analyze the baseball, it starts with the top is a cowhide, so it's a skin. That's a biomaterial. Then you have the threads, those are some kind of chemicals. And then you have the core, those are polymers, and then you have the cork. So the entire baseball you can think in terms of that is made up of different components that are different chemicals. So we had a 2014 era baseball, and then we have something that was 2015 and later. So these are all certified MLB baseballs, and they were used in the games. So we took the core, and then we took a part of the material. We exactly measured how much material we are taking, and then they were analyzed.
So over time, as the temperature increases, this red line is showing the weight percentage that is decomposed in accordance with the temperature. And then what's left here at the end is what we presume to be the inorganic material that cannot be decomposed, which is most likely silicon. So that was our big indication that the new balls had roughly a 7% increase in this polymer region that was decomposed, and then 7% less of the inorganic material left over, where the old balls had the opposite, 7% less polymer and 7% more inorganic material.
At this point, the change in the home runs is dramatic, and it broke the record that was set during the peak when the players were juiced, that era. So presumably we can assume that the players are all clean now, so then what do you ascribe it to? So then the only other factor is the ball.